Today I'm going to show you 15 beginners tips and tricks to give you an amazing start in the Fallout 76 Wastelanders update, covering legendaries, getting them and what to do with extras, crafting, farming, building, questing and more. So let's get right into it. First is the Leader of the Pack event. This is a really great event to do early game. It is aimed at levels 1 to 9 and can be found northwest of Vault 76 at the Tyler County Fairgrounds. Completing this event will reward you with 3 legendary items leveled to you within its level range, and it's quite easy generally speaking. When the event becomes active, head straight there as there is a 20-minute or so time limit. You will be tasked with hunting down 3 packs of wolves in the area. Each pack has a legendary leader mob that will drop a legendary item. If you are in a team, you will each get a different one. I would advise quickly assessing the map where the packs are marked with square waypoints and make a quick route plan. As you are on a timer, avoiding the inside of the fairground could be a good idea, and once you have discovered around the area, you can pay a small amount of caps, likely 1 to 2, per fast travel to jump to locations very close to them. Defeating all 3 packs within the time limit will spawn the alpha and spark a bonus event, Wolf Horde. This pack will be moving swiftly and those fast travel points could really come in handy for this one in particular. Downing the alpha will not reward a 4th legendary item but will complete for some caps, a random plan and a few other goodies. It won't take you too long to work out what weapon types you want to focus in. For me, it is shotguns and sniper rifles. With that in mind, any weapons you don't wish to use later on can just either be scrapped or periodically sold en masse to a vendor for some substantial caps. Extra weapons in the type you do want to specialise in, however, should all be scrapped, as scrapping weapons and armour give a chance to gain blueprints for mods related to those weapons, many of which will require specific perk cards to install in your weapons and armour. I recommend not buying plans from vendors unless it is something particularly useful and necessary until endgame. This is because most events will drop random plans. These can be for weapons, armour, food and even base building items. You can also gain these by talking to random NPCs, searching containers and even some just lying around. So always keep an eye out for them and be active. You don't want to spend 1,200 of your hard-earned caps to then get the plans for free from somewhere else just while levelling. Setting up a small farm really early will help you immeasurably in crafting and repairing your weapons and armour. This is because adhesive is one of the greatest bottlenecks of Fallout 76. It sounds silly, but you will never find enough of it naturally, but you can grow it. Vegetable starch is a cooking recipe which can be crafted then scrapped into 2 adhesive. To craft vegetable starch you'll need 2 tato, 2 mutfruit, 2 corn and 1 purified water. You can grow tato, mutfruit and corn very easily and quickly, and purified water can be periodically gained by building a water purifier. Tato can be gathered en masse from Anchor Farm between Vault 76 and the Tyler County Fairgrounds. Mutfruit can be found along the road from the Overseer's Camp to Flatwoods, as well as just everywhere in that area dotted around. And corn can be gathered in huge numbers along with many other crops from the Aaron Holt homestead, a little northeast of the Tyler County Fairgrounds. The Green Thumb perk card. This is a really nice little perk card, especially early on to help you with your adhesive woes. Green Thumb is a one-off perception perk card that you can gain at level 4 that will allow you to harvest twice as much when gathering flora. This is not only useful to swap in when harvesting your mini farm for crafting vegetable starch, but also just generally when harvesting flora, as you will need a lot of food and water, but you also get experience from crafting. So craft everything you can. Something you'll probably learn the hard way very early on is that most food items have a condition meter that constantly drops, meaning that most flora, meat and general crafted food products will spoil quite quickly, so keep an eye on your food and drinks condition and use it in order where possible. Also be sure to sell your extra food and drink to a vendor for easy caps. Your food and drink will have the same value regardless of condition, so just sell and job's a good one. Setting up your first camp just outside of Flatwoods is generally a really good idea. You'll be next to a hub with a vendor as well as all the crafting tables, next to a river which is superior for gathering water early on that you then boil, as you'll gather it far faster directly from a river rather than a pump. Next to the Vault-Tec Agricultural Research Facility, which has a very regular event on called Fertile Soil, which will gain you lots of experience, scrap and best of all, lots of robots, which regularly drop lead scrap. Lead scrap is required to craft your ammo, and you'll likely use more than you naturally find, so doing this event whenever possible early game will help you keep your ammo store stocked. Keep a hawk eye out for the 3 recipes of Healing Salve, Cranberry Cobbler and Cranberry Relish. Healing Salve is essentially a mini stimpak that you can craft very easily. There are different versions of the recipe for different areas. The earliest one you will likely find the recipe for is the forest, which requires 1 boiled water, 1 blood leaf and 1 soot flower, all of which can be gathered in abundance around Flatwoods. Cranberry Cobbler and Cranberry Relish are both food items that give you an experience buff when eaten. Cranberry Cobbler will give you 5% extra experience buff and is crafted with 1 cranberry and 1 wood. Cranberry Relish will give you a 10% extra experience gain buff and is crafted with 2 cranberries, 2 gourd, 2 sugar and 1 wood. The primary difficulty here is getting the gourd, but also kind of the cranberries, which at low level is tricky, but by no means impossible. One of the easiest places to find cranberries early on is at the Aaron Holt homestead, just northeast of the Tyler County Fairgrounds. You should be able to obtain 10 or so from there, which is enough for a few hours of increased experience gain in your Fallout fun. The gourd, however, you will find a single gourd plot that does not appear to grant 2 with the green thumb in the greenhouse behind the Hornwright Summer Villa, which is located near the lower east side of the Somerville Lake. This is a little bit of a trek early on and will take you a little time, but it is worth it. Once you have retrieved this single gourd, be sure to plant it at your base. Then just proceed to harvest and plant again until you have 10 plots, giving you the perfect amount to pair with the cranberries, found at the Aaron Holt homestead to make 5 or 10 cranberry relish depending on whether you have the green thumb perk card or not, though 5 is certainly enough per crafting of them. Be sure to scrap as you go and keep an eye on the nearest red rockets and train stations that will have both at least 1 nearby crafting table of some sort and a stash box, allowing you to unload your haul and fast travel or actually run again. Most of the legendary items you obtain won't be all that useful to you and your preferred playstyle, but don't fear, they aren't useless. While you can't scrap them, you can trade them in at any train station for legendary script via a legendary exchange machine. This script can be built up and later used to get another legendary from a special moly vendor. 1-star legendary weapons will get you 5 script, 2-star 15 script and 3-star 40, while 1-star legendary armour will get you 3 2-star 9 and 3-star 24. The amount of script gotten for these items does not change, based on the condition of the item or the level of the item. Also, to trade it in, you must remove any item store skins you placed on it. These train stations where you can exchange your legendaries can be found all over, but once you find one, be sure to check the map inside and interact with the thumbtacks that will add the other train station locations to your map. Spending your script isn't as simple as travelling to a train station. You must head to the Rusty Pick, located in the north of the Ash Heap region directly south of Flatwoods. The Ash Heap is a level 25 to 35 zone, but if you're careful you should be fine getting there. At the Rusty Pick you'll find Purveyor Murmug, a female mole miner who sells legendary items in exchange for script. They will cost quite a bit more than you got for the same rarity item and will be random. I would generally suggest saving up your script for max level, as you can have up to 1000 script on any one player character. Keep technical data for future hand-ins. Yep, that is a really quick, simple one to avoid spoilers. They'll be useful, they weigh nothing, pick them up when you see them and keep them safe. Pick up honey when you see it, as it will be very useful for a daily near the giant teapot. It keeps forever and rewards a small stack of Sweetwater Special Blend with 25% fill of your thirst bar and 2 perception. For easy early locations to find honey, check out the woods north of Vault 76 and look for bee swarms. You'll also find some around the Aaronholt homestead. I know, right? That homestead is pretty sweet. On that note, ensure you stay well rested, well fed, well hydrated and wherever possible well tuned. Well fed increases your maximum HP by 25 with an extra 25% to disease resistance. Well hydrated gives you plus 25 AP regeneration and another 25% resistance against diseases. Well tuned increases AP regeneration by 25% and well rested will increase your XP gain by 5%. Rested, well rested and kindred spirit are all the same buff, just with different durations. It's all based on where you sleep, it would seem, so when possible sleep at your primary base in a proper bed, not a sleeping bag, to get up to a 3-hour duration with kindred spirit and avoid diseases from sleeping on the floor. All good stuff, all very worth doing. Looting in a team will work differently depending on the source. If you are looting from an open container of any kind, for example a chest or a suitcase, or just some drawers, you will both see separate loot. The loot is based partly on your stats as well as the container itself, and having some perk cards can increase the drop rate of some things. You have to engage with a mob to gain experience for downing it. Engaging is primarily done via dealing damage, but could also potentially be negative effects in general, some kind of contact. Whether you damage it or not, if you are within a certain range of the mob that was downed by your teammate as it was downed, you will have loot spawn in the body for you. As with general containers, this loot is separate per player. An example of when this distance can be observed is if 2 teammates are standing next to each other and one of them one-shot snipes an enemy from very far away. Only the sniper will get the experience and loot as the mob was too far from the other teammate to trigger loot and he didn't get a shot in himself. Any looting container that needs to be opened, for example with lockpicking or a loot chest at the end of an event, everyone will see the same loot. It is not personal, so bear that in mind when in a group so you don't just accidentally steal all the shared loot. Lastly, for looting in a team, any items that are just out in the open in the world is shared loot. This includes everything that isn't in a container, so fans, typewriters, duct tape, weapons, armour, hats, just about everything just lying around, with one particular exception being the items in the initial camp left by the Overseer. The items you see on the table are personal and not shared. This also extends to some or all holotapes in the wild. Have at least a rough idea of where you want your build to go, as you can swap perk cards as much as you like, but you can't reassign your special attribute points until you hit level 50 plus. Each attribute can be taken to a maximum of 15 naturally, and you'll have 1 point in each stat in the beginning, and over the levels will gain 49 more to put into wherever you want. If you like melee or shotguns, then strength points will be very handy. Rifles, bows, sneaky stuff, accuracy and the like, then perception is your friend. Endurance, well, endurance is kind of meh. There are 1 or 2 half decent cards, but unless you are focusing on pure non-battle survival, then you won't want to put much into this. My build only utilises the default 1 point. Charisma can be useful, and whether you are playing solo or in a team, 3 to 4 points in this can go a long way. If solo, then the Lone Wanderer cards are pretty powerful, or in a team, then use Inspirational for extra experience points when adventuring in a team. It's a substantial bonus too. If you want to be able to do lots of crafting, having 5 points in Intelligence will really help, allowing you to swap in cards for armor smithing, gunsmithing to its max rank, and other such things. Intelligence is also great for health related stuff, explosives and hacking. Agility is all about VATs, pistols, ammunition, sneaky stuff, movement and more. And luck is an often overlooked one. but it's actually pretty great in small amounts. There are cards in luck to increase your critical chance, VATs, lots of stuff for finding more of a type of item when looting, some mysterious stuff, an OP card that helps you control mutations, and even a card that allows you to potentially make an extra copy of an item you are crafting. If you've been following my work for a while, you may remember I coded an app for building your character in Fallout 76 when it first launched, but it was my first app and was over-engineered and janky, and as I don't see myself having time to rewrite it, it is no longer available to use, so I will happily redirect you to falloutbuilds.com, which I'll link below. It's pretty great for building a character map and does most of what you'd want it to do, though keep an eye out as I'll be releasing a solo playthrough with a full rundown of my shotgun sniper build very soon, and with it likely a downloadable spreadsheet for a little more control over your build planning. And that, fine people, is about it. Hopefully you've gained some new information from this video and it wasn't just me telling you a bunch of stuff you already knew. If you want more Fallout 76 content, we have a weekly live stream on Tuesdays where me and my partner in crime, Golden Gek, co-op the Waste of Appalachia. A solo playthrough coming very soon with a full build and a Let's Play series filled with tips and just more guides on the intricacies of Fallout 76 Wastelanders. So subscribe and ring the notification bell to keep up to date. If you want to support the work I do, sharing, commenting and liking is really huge. But if that is not your jam, I also have a Patreon and Teespring store with new designs for the arcade coming very soon. Links to everything can be found below in the pinned comment with a Discord link. Have a fantastic day, folks.